How was your flight?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay,
we
arrived.
Not that long, hour and 10 minutes.
Okay, this is Yusuf. Yusuf.
Hello, good night.
Yusuf is our guide for the week. Okay, we're after breakfast. First day, Semarang. Gonna have some meat. Then Yusuf is our driver. He's going to take us around town, show us all the sights. So we're on our way to Halmahera?
Yeah. Halmahera?
We're heading into the area of Halmahera in Semarang, where my mother and my grandmother and her sisters and brother were all interned by the Japanese. Of course, you can't see anything in this area of the camp, it's all gone. The Japanese just converted local districts into camps. They just fenced them off and locked them up, and they could not leave. They were usually just fenced in by bamboo fence called a kadek. And so we're heading to the area now.
Long and lonely, feel here. I wish you were here, but still you are far, far from me. It's a building of pain that leaves a hole, that leaves a hole.
We came into Halmahera from here, and this is a typical house of the time. This lovely couple here, or mother and daughter I should say, they've been living in this house all their lives. She was born here, and before that her parents were born here, so there's a good chance that this is a typical type of home that the Halmahera camp would be made up of. Just a suburb that was totally encircled with fencing and made into a prison. So now we're walking around in Lampasari. There's nothing left of the old Lampasari camp here, of course, but now a school. You could just imagine here, there's people crowded into houses, forced labor, guards, malnutrition, beatings, disease. This is where our parents were first put, my father's mother and my dad and his brother, before they were separated, and my father was sent to Bangkok, which was a man's camp, and his mother was sent to stay here in Lampasari. My father came to look for his mother and found her here after the war, very sick with beriberi. She was so sick and swollen, you could not even recognize her. And she spent the rest of her life suffering from the side effects of beriberi, each day having to change her shoes frequently because of the pain in her feet. So we walk in Moy now, visited Lampasari. Where did we go to next, Yusuf? Bangkok, okay. We thought it'd be nice to come and look at the harbour, where Mum, Dad and Olma, all our family caught the boat to flee Indonesia because of the War of Independence. So they came here and boarded the ship, the Oranje, sailed back to Holland. Unfortunately, a lot of people didn't make it. There were daily burials at sea for people who survived the war and the camps, starvation, the beriberi and disease, but we're not strong enough to get back home again. There's a good friend of Mum and her mother who died at sea and begged her husband not to bury her at sea. It's just the thought of it, she didn't like it, so they buried her in Egypt as they went through the Suez Canal on land. It's a story I read in Mum's book. Here we are at the harbour, and all these people, they are waiting to catch a boat to the other islands. And some of these ferry trips take 32 hours.
Yes, from here to, where was it again?
Kalimantan,
yeah.
Kalimantan, which is on the island of Borneo. So that's what all these people are waiting for.
And the way that you made
So, Mike, what are we doing now?
We're at a pasar ikan, which means a fish market. We're going to have a look inside and enjoy the smell and aroma.
If the camera could smell, you'd be leaving the room.
Exactly.
Here, but still you are far, far from me. It's a building of pain. The leaves are old, the leaves are old.
Boy, great air. I think it's really interesting. They are very small here. Here they're quite tiny. Snapper, Gary? Snapper? Snapper? Yeah.
So you had your fish and chips the other
Yeah,
day.
it was good. It was excellent. Looks like it, doesn't it?
Tuna,
Little
maybe?
tuna, maybe, yeah.
It's a flat fish,
Yeah.
flounder type fish. Lots of snapper.
And lonely, feeling here. I wish you were
That
here.
was really interesting. Super friendly people.
They were very, yeah.
Quite happy to share their
Yeah.
fish with us.
How they're sorting the fish
Yeah.
and sizing them.
They wanted to get some photos together. They really loved it.
Yeah.
So arrived at Bangkok, which is the prison my father was put in with Martin, my uncle, when my father was 12 years old. They were locked in here to do hard labor. It was a man's camp, and maybe a lot of old men were here, sick old men and men. My father worked very hard. It was before this was a convent, and some of the nuns were still there to help look after the boys and men. But the conditions were very, very harsh. My father never spoke about it. There's the plaque, eh? Yes.
Jongens en mannen die hier geïnterneerd zijn geweest. Bangkok, 1943, 1945.
It's hard to imagine this being a prison full of suffering people. Boys and men worked hard and had very little food. In this corner here was a prison. I talked about it with my father. He said there were two boys locked up in there who had escaped, and the Japanese caught them and starved them in that room. And Dad still felt guilty about it. He felt guilty because he never tried to help them or feed them, even though it was totally out of his hands. He could do nothing, of course, but he carried that with him into his 90s, that guilt, to see people suffering and doing nothing, because he felt, well, they'd put him in there as well if he did something. Definitely severe trauma came from this place, which is now a school. There's a different vibe here now, that's for sure.
In the sleep, in the way that only stands, in the way, in the way.
Dad's room with about probably 70 or 80 other boys in this room. An original ceiling that he would have been staring at night. Now we're going to Sampo Gong, which is a shrine built for a general, Chinese general who came here with his fleet in the 1500s. So this building has been here for 500 years, but of course
The leaves are old, the leaves are old.
it's a pretty impressive looking building.
It's a feeling I'm making up in my head. It can leave, but it will finish down my neck. I know, I know, I know.
bit of a old Dutch sign writing there, Semarang automobile, left over from the colonial time. Yeah, Maatschappij, the last one there. Yeah, nice. Still there. It's still a garage too.